So is coasting in neutral really that bad? What does coasting in neutral really take away from you? The ability to accelerate? So what? I use neutral a lot. I coast with neutral a lot, and it has come to my attention that that's frowned upon. I understand why a new driver probably wouldn't want to be coasting in neutral a lot, because it's kind of stressful at times. I get it. If you're not paying attention to your surroundings, neutral can definitely put you in a bind. It can definitely hurt you a little bit. But I coast in neutral because I pay attention to my surroundings. So I am looking ahead. I am scanning all of this stuff. I am checking my mirrors. I am looking for pedestrians. I am not in neutral right now, but I am in second gear. How much can I really accelerate in second gear right now? Like a little. Like if I really needed to get out of the way of something, I'd probably want to be in first gear right now. And I don't want to drive in my power band the entire time I'm driving. If you do, more power to you. That's awesome. But personally, I'm going to drive in the correct gear for the situation. And when the situation changes, I'm going to shift to a different gear. I'm going to shift to a better gear for the situation. That's how I treat it. I'm in neutral right now because I have a long distance to cover and I don't want the engine to slow me down a whole bunch right now. There's nobody behind me. I promise. I promise there's nobody behind me. I'm just in neutral, just gliding up to the stop up here. At this slowest speed, I don't have any engine braking at all. Unless I'm in first gear, which, you know how fast I'm going to slow down in first gear? A lot. I'm going to slow down a lot, more than I want to. Alright, I'm going to coast to neutral to this light. Again, there's nobody behind me. It's red right now. I don't want to have to slam my brakes when I get there. I don't really like braking very hard. It's not my favorite thing to do. I'm shifting into gear right now because I think I'm going to actually build up too much speed. I'm going to have too much speed when I get there. So I'm actually in gear right now because I'm not using any fuel. 0.00 GPH, that's gallons per hour. That's my fuel flow rate. So I'm in gear right now. I can go into third gear even and slow down a little extra. I can even go down into second gear. I'm using the engine to slow me down because I don't want to use my brakes up here. That's really all this is. Now that I don't have any more engine braking, I'm going down to neutral again because this is a normal, acceptable position to use neutral, I think. When it's time to go into gear, I can go into gear very, very quickly. You know, I can just dump the clutch, pop it in the correct gear. There's a red light up there, so I'm not going to bother accelerating too much. I'm actually going to go to neutral. Hold on. Okay. So that's an example of where I was not in the right gear because I was kind of distracted a little bit. Typically, 9 times out of 10, when I'm in neutral, I am already thinking about what gear I need to be in next. So I can just dump the clutch, I can rev the engine, shift into gear, and then, you know, release the clutch. That light is red. That is no good. That is no bueno. Oh, now it's green. So I'm in gear right now because I'm not using any fuel. If I shift into neutral, when that engine speed drops down to idle, it's going to start using fuel again. Hopefully you can see that 0.16 gallons per hour at neutral. But I actually want to speed up right now. And I could use the engine, but I could just use gravity, right? I could just be in neutral. So if my RPM is too high for the amount of power I want, or the engine's slowing me down too much, I'm going to be in neutral. Because that's what's best for my fuel economy. I shift into neutral because I pay attention, not just to my surroundings, but I pay attention to my fuel economy also. And I look at my scan gauge, I know what's good for fuel economy and I know what's not good for fuel economy. I'm gonna catch one of these lights red up here. I know it. I already know it. It's gonna suck. I needed to do that anyway. But now I can't see. Oh gosh darn it. Okay. And I'm not coasting in neutral right now because I need to slow down. So if I don't want to slow down, I'm in neutral. If I do want to slow down, yeah, I'm slowing down in gear. If I'm going down a hill, I'm not in neutral using my brakes. I'm using the engine to slow me down. If I'm going down a really steep hill, unless I want to speed up, then I am in neutral. If I can speed up in neutral and I want to, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I liken coasting in neutral to having your dog on the trail and there's signs that say animals must be on leash and your dog doesn't have a leash. You don't have a leash for your dog. That's coasting in neutral. That's what that is to me. If you are in control of your dog, you're paying attention to your surroundings, and your dog is under control, I don't have a problem with you having your dog on the trail and not having a leash. Does that mean everybody should be on the trail with their dog, not on the leash? Probably not. Some dogs are harder to control. Some people have more going on. Some people are just paying attention to them and their dog, and maybe the trail. But with that said, you know, if you are paying attention, you can use neutral. It's like 7th gear. It's just like being in 6th gear. If you got a 5-speed, you would use neutral like you would use 6th gear. It's the exact same thing. You don't have a whole lot of acceleration in 6th gear, right? You don't have a whole lot of acceleration in 7th gear. You don't have a whole lot of acceleration in neutral either, but you use the 5th gear on your car, don't you? If you have a 5-speed, you do use 5th gear. Well, I treat neutral like you would treat 6th gear in your car. That's how I treat neutral. It's a fuel saving thing for me. So I'm not paranoid. I don't think you should be paranoid. I don't think you should drive in the power band at all times. I think you should use the correct gear for the situation. You know, I want you to think critically. I want you to make the best decision that works for you based on your values, your beliefs, the facts that you know, the information that you have, the situation that you're in. I want you to make the decision that's right for you. I don't want you to take my advice and just do what I'm doing, because that might not be right for you. But if somebody tells you don't coast in neutral, you should think critically. You should ask yourself, why do they not want me to coast in neutral? Because it takes away my acceleration? Well, maybe. Maybe that's why you shouldn't coast in neutral. So do you see how fast when that light turned green, how fast I was in gear? That's my reaction time when I'm anticipating. That's my reaction time when I'm anticipating what's coming up next. I can be in gear so quick, y'all. I mean, I coast in neutral so much that I have to go into gear so often that I can just be back in gear very, very quickly, especially because I pay attention and because I'm anticipating and because I'm pretty sure I know what gear I need to be in later. I'm gonna throw this back up. We don't need that anymore. So it's kind of like a muscle, right? You can use driving the power band all the time. You can just but you can also pay attention to your surroundings. You can plan, you can predict, you can think, okay, if X happens, I need to be in Y gear. If Z happens, I need to be in Q gear. Okay, I mean, it's not difficult. It's called planning ahead. It's called thinking critically. It's called analyzing your situation. I'm not telling you to coast in neutral, but if you want to coast in neutral, do it. If you know what you're doing, and I recommend you get a scan gauge so you know when it makes sense, or watch my other videos and get an idea of when it makes sense. If you have a carbureted car, I can't help you. I don't know what's best in a carbureted car. You're gonna have to find out what works for you in that situation. But this is a fuel injected car. If I let off the gas, it's gonna slow me down, and it's gonna cut the fuel injection, which I can take advantage of that, or maybe I don't want it. I would like to know why I'm wrong. If you got any thoughts, if you got any ideas, if you got any kind of considerations, something that I missed, let me know. I want to hear it. I want to know why I'm wrong. I want to know why it's dangerous that I coast in neutral so much. Seriously, if you're still watching, type in the comments. Let me know why I'm wrong. And then I look forward to replying to every last one of you. Thanks for watching.